equation. And because you don't really know how important you are to the equation, often you squander your importance by being reactionary to what's already manifested instead of being wise in your energy flow in the creation of the new. Did you follow that just a little bit? When you see something and you know you don't like it, and that's all right, that's what step one is, but then you stay fixated on what's wrong with what you don't like. You hold yourself in a pattern of vibration that does not allow you to be the receiver of the improvement, because the vibration of the question or the problem is different than the vibration of the answer or the solution. So what we're really saying to you, in the lightest way we can say it, and we think you can follow it given the questions that we just asked and that you just answered, you're sort of, most of you, stuck in step one. Sifting and sorting and evaluating what is. So enamored with the physical creation that you've forgotten that you're a creator. It would be like being a really wonderful artist who has created a really magnificent statue, and then you just spend the rest of your life, this isn't really as magnificent as we are describing, but then you just spend the rest of your life admiring what you created that time way back then, and not allowing the juices to keep flowing. And so the satisfaction factor of this creation, no matter how magnificent it once was, or no matter how many people once thought it really was beautiful, it will not continue to satisfy you for very long, because what satisfies you is reaching for more and finding a way to line up with the more. What satisfies you is being an extension of source energy and allowing that source energy to flow through you real time. And so when you are reacting for more than a moment to something that's going on in your human environment, when you're reacting to it and holding your consciousness about this thing that you are not really enjoying or not wanting, then even though you've launched rockets of desire, and even though source is all over it, and even though streams of consciousness are flowing to it, and the energy that creates worlds is already flowing toward the creation of the new improvement, if you're holding yourself in awareness in reaction to the problem that you don't want, then you never become part of the solution, and you never feel satisfaction. You never feel a moment of satisfaction, because you know what satisfaction is? Satisfaction is just a word. Like so many words, satisfaction is a word descriptive of the way you feel. And satisfaction is the best word that Esther can find that means what we mean when we say the blending in any moment of the perspective of your human perspective and the perspective of your non-physical God force perspective. When you are looking at anything in a way where you are not in the moment introducing resistance because of a sort of varied, flawed premise from who you really are, you feel satisfaction. In other words, let's say life has helped you to realize that you really could use more money. And in your awareness that you could really use more money, and that awareness might come up often, many times in a day, let's say. So every time that happens, you launch a rocket of desire, a request really for more abundance. And each time you do that, your abundance grows vibrationally in what we are referring to as your vibrational reality. It's like the beginning steps of the creative process. So this vibrational reality, which we've named the vortex because we wanted to get your attention, we wanted you to feel the realness of it, it gets bigger and bigger and surer and surer and stronger, not only because you continue to add to it, but because your inner being is focused upon it, and because law of attraction is gathering the cooperative components for the improvement of this. So you have, without knowing it, created a veritable fortune that is identified as yours. It's yours. It's the beginning, just like the kernel of corn that you put into the ground is the beginning of that big plant that will produce ears of corn. This vibrational reality is that for you. But if you are humanly natured, if you are enamored by seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, if you are not remembering that you are a vibrational creator, then you might be still standing over here in the discomfort of the money not being here yet. It hasn't manifested, and so you're holding your attention so much on what is and having knee-jerk reactions to that. So you're holding yourself vibrationally in a different place than where your abundance is, which means you cannot be doing that and be in step 3, which is the receiving mode, at the same time, any more than you can set your radio dial on one channel and hear what's being broadcast on another. The frequencies have to match up. So you've asked for and have created a vibrational reality. You have a vibrational abundance that is really beyond our ability to describe it to you. But if it isn't in your bank account yet, if it isn't flowing through your experience, it means that you are vibrationally in a different place. And it's easy to understand why, isn't it? Because when you're looking for something that you cannot see, when the bank does not acknowledge that the money is there. So you say to us, all right, Abraham, we'll play your silly game. We'll accept that there's something over there where Esther's arms are pointing. We'll even call it the vortex like you do. Just tell me, how do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? That's all I really want to know. And that's what we want you to know too. We want you to know that this vibrational reality that you have created is yours and yours alone. In other words, no one else is going to sweep in and take it away from you. But you've got to find a way of getting to the receiving mode of it. So if you've been listening to us for a while, we've been telling you all kinds of suggestions about how you might do a better job of getting into the receiving mode. But what so often happens to you is that you have a knee-jerk response to something, and then you do a process, something that we've offered or someone else has, that makes you feel a little better for a moment, but you don't often really get to that place of knowing that what you're asking for is really real and is really yours and is really coming. Because there's something so objective about looking where something isn't that makes it feel odd to talk about it as it is. And you listen to us, we say, but it really is, it's vibrational, you can't see it yet. And you want to believe that, we want you to have faith that it's there. But mostly you say, I'll see it and then I'll believe it. And that's easy, isn't it? Only problem with that is you're seeing what others have believed, because they had to believe it before they could see it. And so if they believed it, then they saw it, and then there it is for you to see. And then you say, whoa, 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 whoa. We need to do something about this. There seems to be something going wrong, because whatever is happening, however it's getting created, I don't like it that much. And we want you to understand that you get to modify it for yourself all day, every day. And that the energy that creates worlds is backing you up in support. So, you want more money, and let's say for right now, there isn't enough for you. You don't have access to it. It's not ready for you to spend. And when we say you can spend your vibrational currency, you say, Abraham, go talk to someone else. Vibrational currency is not what I really need right now. I need currency, not vibrational currency. I need currency. And we say, and therein lies your problem, because your need for the currency you don't have will keep you from resonating with the currency that you do have. And until you begin to resonate with the currency that you do have, it can't become bigger. In other words, these thoughts cannot turn to things. Have you been hearing us talking about turning thoughts to things? You got to wonder how things happen. Where does the economy come from? There are not pipelines from other planets piping in resources. You're turning thoughts to things. That's what the expansion of all of this is about. And so when you accept that you are turning thoughts to things, if you could just hear us, believe us, know what we mean when we say, oh, the vibrations that you have created, the basis of all of the tangible things and experiences that you desire, the basis is so expansive and so deep and lucrative and based in all that is good, that if you could just begin to get a whiff of it, and you could just hold yourself within range of that vibrational frequency, then those vibrations which you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch. You can't even make a thought out of them in the early stages. Those vibrations, if you hold yourself, these are the words, not in opposition of them. In other words, when you stop doing that thing you do that holds you in opposition of them, when you let your cork float, when you let your mind be still, when you stop beating the drum of what is, you let what you really want to be what is get a little bit of momentum going. That's how the deliberate creative process works. But what that requires is that you have to find a new starting place. We were watching Esther the other day. She was having an experience with someone that she really cares a lot about, who was having response to her. They were having a sort of responses with each other that was not pleasing either one of them. And no matter how hard Esther tried to find the right words, she could not find the right words, partly because she was not purely in the receptive mode, and absolutely because the person she was talking to was not in the receiving mode. And so Esther found herself in one of those, you've felt them too, feudal situations where it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, it's just going to be what it is. You're just not going to have any movement on this at all. And so then, once the conversation ended, now Esther is still trying to think about it, but still getting no movement about it. No movement. In a sort of rut. You ever find yourself in a rut? So something's gone wrong. You don't want it to be wrong. You try to pivot. Abraham said, pivot. Pivot. When you know what you don't want, think about what you do want. But there's something so tangled in your vibration right now about what you don't want, that even when you try to think about what you do want, it's in defiance of what you don't want. In other words, it's all tangled in there together. You just can't get there from there. So Esther got out, Ask and It Is Given. Her favorite book. 22 processes in the back of it. 22 processes of what to do when different things happen. So she did a little of this and a little of that and a little of that, a little of this and a little of this, and she got feeling a little better. But not good enough that that thought left her mind altogether. So all day long, she stayed in a sort of rut that she had created. This is what I've got, but this is what I want, and this is what I've got, but this is what I want, and this is what I don't want, and this is what I do want, and this is what I don't want, and this is what I do want, and this is where I am, and this is not where I want to be, and this is where I want to be, but this isn't where I am, and this is where I am, and I don't want to be here. I want to be over there, but I'm not over there. I'm over here, not over there. I'm over here, not over there. I'm over here, not over there. It was exhausting. No movement whatsoever. How often do you stay right there relative to your money, relative to some specific relationship, relative to your employment or lack of it? It's so easy to think you're doing the work, to mean to be doing the work, to want to do the work, to want to feel better and then worse, and then better and then worse, and then better and then worse. So what happens? Oh, friends, you've come so far, because there was a time when you felt worse and a little better and worse and a little better, and so instead of really wanting this and being over there, you've